Okay, this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna stand here in my cowboy hat and my shark t-shirt, and I'm gonna talk about books. And you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna really enjoy it. And if you click off this video, I'm gonna write about you in my little notebook, and I can't guarantee that it'll be good. Okay, so that being said, let's talk about books, guys. Let's have a good time. So I will start with the most recent book that I read, and that is Ruth and Penn. So this is about two women, Ruth and Penn. Well, one's a teenager. Penn is a 16-year-old on the spectrum, and Ruth is a therapist who is thinking about leaving her husband. Aren't we all? Am I right? Relatable. And these two characters don't know each other. And the book takes place just all in one day. But here's the thing, the characters' lives intersect. They intersect at one point during the day. And so each chapter, they're very short chapters, and it's like the chapters are called like times, because it's really like kind of minute by minute. Or, well, hour by hour. I think this was really, really good autism representation, because that can be a little bit tricky. So definitely the author probably did her research, or knew someone on the spectrum, or is on the spectrum herself. Any of those things. It's really a book about, like, relationships. And what I took from it anyway was about how this, like, a traumatic event or grief or something that is like a shared event between two people can either split you apart or bring you closer together, depending on how you both communicate in the aftermath. And that really all people need to feel is like a sense of togetherness, like a sense that they're like going through the same thing. Zachariah? Okay, come on, come say some stuff. I still have a cat. Yeah, so honestly, I would give this like a 3.5. I think the way the chapters were laid out, and they got shorter and shorter in the end, and that was probably supposed to build suspense, like switching back and forth, because then it also would switch back and forth between the husband and the other people in Penn's storyline. And instead of doing that, it didn't build suspense for me. It really just made it very tedious and drawn out. And also I found the last scene kind of a bit dodgy. It's a book I read a few months ago. Some non-fiction, Aristotle. I love these little, this series called Past Masters. Anytime I see one secondhand, I pick them up. I don't think they print them anymore. But yeah, this is, it's basically like a nice little introduction to Aristotle's ideas and writing. I was underlining a lot of stuff. And the first chapter, because he kind of invented zoology a little bit. He kind of low-key invented zoology, but like not very well. And the author said, and I underlined this, his whole procedure seems appallingly slapdash. Like, honestly, me doing anything. I just really like reading about people who have a unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and like Renaissance men, Renaissance women, Renaissance people. And Aristotle was definitely one of those. Like towards the end, like I'm still underlining stuff, I'm still annotating, but I am like, getting lost in the sauce. I get a little bit lost just when it gets too kind of meta. But I don't usually read a lot of philosophy. Usually I read psychology, so I'm cutting myself a little bit of slack, okay? I'm cutting myself a little bit of slack. So yeah, I can't remember what I rated this, probably like a 4 stars, because I had a really enjoyable experience reading it. Like, even though I didn't understand everything, I really enjoyed it. That's the kind of vibe I bring to the function. Now, I recently read one of my new favorite classics. I don't know if this would be considered a classic or a modern classic, but that is Stoner by John Williams. Now, I don't like this cover. A book with books on it, I don't like that. I do not like that. I wanted this cover. But anyway, how do I even tell you about this? It's like the more I like something, the less I'm able to talk about it. What is that? Is there a name for that? Stoner tells of the conflicts, defeats, and victories of the human race that pass unrecorded by history and reclaims the significance of an individual life. Yeah, that's that sums it up pretty well, I think. What I will tell you is that this book, the whole time I was reading it, I just was thinking about how it would pair perfectly with two other of my favorite books, right? Like a wine and cheese kind of pairing scenario. The Secret History and, wait for it, East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I can't explain it. Great, another thing I can't explain. Amazing. And I think I might, no, do you know what? I think I might write like an English essay about this. Why? Like a comparative English essay. Just for fun. That's where I'm at right now. That's the type of life I'm living right now. Guys, this lighting is not gonna work for us, or is it really? Should we come over here on the couch? Would that work better? Yeah, that works a little better. Okay. All right, that's better. Okay. I'm wearing sweatpants because I didn't anticipate you seeing the bottom half of me. No, okay, do you know what? I'm gonna try. Okay. This The Secret History, because dark academia vibes, and academia is really a central theme in this. You know, the protagonist is a university lecturer, and a lot of the novel takes place in a university. All characters have a unquenchable thirst and love of knowledge, okay? Love it, love to see it. And then this, because, okay, this might just be a little bit personal. I read these both, like, I read this time last year, and also just had in the backyard with the sun, and also just had a really transformative experience reading it. This next book, I'm going to talk about really badly because I love it. It is The Eden Project, In Search of the Magical Other, a Jungian perspective on relationship. And I do truly believe that everyone should read this book. This is just packed full of absolute, just like harsh truths, beautiful like gems, tasty little nuggets. This is the perfect book on relationships. Now this is not a how-to. It does tell you that it is not a how-to on how to fix your relationship. It is. This is not a practical guide on how to fix a relationship, but rather a challenge to greater personal responsibility in relationships, a call for individual growth as opposed to seeking rescue for others. And isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that what it's all about now? You know? Yeah, it draws on poetry, Greek mythology, obviously, Jungian theory, and you don't really need to know a lot about Jungian theory to understand it. There is a little like glossary at the end for terms. Then I read Jung's Map of the Soul, because I'm having my Jungian summer, and this was a little dry. After reading this, going from this beautiful, deep masterpiece of nonfiction to this, so Jung's Map of the Soul, an introduction, and it surely was an introduction. The thing about Jung is like he gets a little lost in the sauce, and I am someone prone to getting lost in the sauce, and I know that about myself, and I don't want to get lost in any sauce. I prefer to, I want to line the sauces up and test all the sauces and have all the sauces in moderation rather than getting completely engulfed in the sauce like Jung does, I think. Yeah, some of it resonates with me, the anima and the animus and synchronicity. It's just like those tarot readers on TikTok are always saying, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. That's it. Yeah, that's it now. That's it now.